Hello, welcome to the latest edition of Data in the Hallway. I'm happy to be joined by my colleague Xin Shi, who is normally based in Seattle, but he's traveling in Beijing or China in general for next couple of weeks. So it's glad to have you join us, Xin. And I know it's early in the morning in China, so thanks for getting up early. Um, and I'll let you introduce yourself in a bit, but I just want to introduce the topic. I think this was like late February. We announced that we have a vector search feature that's available for early access. And I was actually looking at the Slack post that I made on this back on February 27th. So that's sort of the topic today. The vector search capability that's available on TiDB Serverless for people to try out. So Xin, welcome. I feel free to introduce yourself, and then my question was first going to be, I mean, I typically like to start very basic. So I mean, tell us what a vector search is and what are some of the use cases. So
Cool. Yeah,
yeah,
thanks, Ray. Thanks for the great introduction. And thank
yeah,
you for having me. So for those who don't know me, my name is Xin. I'm the product manager of TiDB. I'm specifically working on TiDB Serverless. So I've been in PingCAP for 1 year and a half, and recently, like Ray just mentioned, we are, bringing the vector search to TiDB Serverless. That's a very exciting feature for, especially for the MySQL community. The reason we are doing that because we from the industry research and the customer feedback we learned from the MySQL community. There are existing solutions in Postgres and other NoSQL databases. But for MySQL, I think people are struggling with building AI applications with their existing MySQL database. So which means MySQL lacks of native capabilities for understanding context and semantics of the data. That is crucial in AI-driven applications where understanding is the intent and the core capabilities of the data, rather than just is explicit content is vital for accurate results. So that's why we are bringing the innovation to make our developers and later make MySQL developers to be part of the AI world, making their application developers more easily to meet where developers are. That's always our goal in the TiDB product team.
cool. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I mean, you can't like nowadays, like if you go to conferences or talk to anybody, you can't avoid any conversations about AI, LLMs, and then somewhere down the road, like a vector search sort of pops up, right? And as you alluded, I mean, there are like databases that specialize in like vector search, right? I mean, there are plenty of like open source solutions available. Like I'm just rattling some of these up, like Quadrant, Mildus, et cetera, et cetera. I think one of the questions that people might have is, is there a way for like MySQL compatible databases to integrate with these, vector search focused databases rather than like introducing a feature like in TiDB. Like I'm sure that questions can come up from people, and I don't know if you've found any insights during your market research.
Right.
Yeah.
Talking about like existing solutions, that's quite
Hmm.
interesting, especially in the MySQL community.
Hmm.
Thinking about the MySQL community, MySQL has traditionally relied on I would say, the indexing method,
Hmm.
which are not optimized for vector search. You can do full context search. You can do some of the the footer content search for your content in the MySQL database. However, if people are looking for building AI-based applications or vector search-based applications, they have to integrate with a different, I would say, a third party or a very different, vector database. That could be a Pinecone or other, I would say, most advanced vector database already in this industry. They offer vector search capabilities, but they require integration with the existing databases, which means you have the data silos, you have a management overhead. The reason, like I just touched a little bit, introducing vector search into TiDB Serverless, which is a MySQL compatible database, we can provide the integrated solution for the MySQL community. So basically, the concept is like, you know, everything is in just one database. Your structured data, your vector data, and TiDB itself is a versatile database, which means it provides HTAP capabilities. So another amazing thing is like you can also do analytical queries on TiDB with I would say good performance. So which means if you just start from scratch building new AI applications, you can leverage TiDB Serverless and no more data silos. Just one database, you got everything you need with TiDB Serverless. And in terms of the industry related data, I think we did some of the kind of research. So some of the numbers I can remember was like if we are looking into the AI application developers, one of the research told us that about 60% of the developers or organizations are thinking to making LLM-based applications or AI applications within 1 year, which means the calendar year of 2024. And also with that, I think thinking about the entire database industry, half of them are actually still using MySQL. And if you are thinking like what their solution to provide AI applications in this year, if they have to integrate another database, vector specific database, that will be I would say that will drag down their innovation speed of the innovation. Which means that's a great opportunity to us. And with that, we are thinking, I would say, given I'm the PM here, I would say that's an opportunity for us for TiDB to serve more developers to really solve their problems. And hopefully they can come in to play with our product and provide feedback to us so that we can iterate our vector search as well as other end-to-end developer experience to meet their needs. So that's the story. If we thinking step back, thinking about the whole industry.
Right. Cool. No, I appreciate the context, and I forget exactly how the saying goes about integration in general. Like, if there is a solution that you can integrate with, so it just shows that it's theoretically possible, like you can do it, but it
Yes.
doesn't it doesn't give you the full context in terms of the work that's needed for any type of integration. It doesn't, I mean, it's whether it's database or something else. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, and then I mean that kind of goes with like what we're trying to do for our serverless users as well, like a very, painless, effortless way to quickly deploy your solutions, and you don't have to worry about like in nitty-gritty details about the database, so that goes in line with what you've been trying to do for the past year and a half with serverless. And I know, like, it's been roughly about 6 weeks. I'm looking at a calendar since we announced this in like the last week of February. It's been 6 weeks, and I know we had a lot of people that have signed up to be early testers. And I'll also include a link in the episode description as well, so that I think we're still welcoming more people that are willing to sort of kick the tires and help provide us with feedback. What kind of feedback are you looking for from users, like in general? Like you may have received some from a lot of people that have signed up already. But...
Right. Yeah. That's exactly something we are looking at this moment. As you shared, we just launched a private beta. So I think 2 weeks ago we pushed the private bits to our production environment, and the people who signed up the waitlist, they got an email from me with the instructions how to create a new database with vector search enabled, and how to do the hello world, and how to leverage our integration with Llama Index or Hugging Face or other AI partners to build their first AI applications with TiDB Serverless. In the specific feedback, I think we are open to all types of feedback. Documentation, ease of use, and naming of the built-in functions, or and the performance and the stability of the entire system, everything. I think some of the early feedback we got is like, people are really excited about in the MySQL industry. There is a available solution today for them to build applications in one database. That is exactly the value we are providing. And specifically, I think some of the users, early participants, they are, either building, I would say, large scale kind of semantic search for their e-commerce system. And we also observed another users, integrating with the latest GPT store with our vector search for themselves to build their own, I would say, knowledge base by doing embeddings from their structured data. I think the feedback is really based on the scenarios, the applications they are building. For the customers building the I would say semantic search for their e-commerce system, they provide feedback on the performance, right? But I shared with them is a early private beta, so performance is not one of the things we can achieve top at this moment, but we do have a great plan to improve that. Some of the technical context is like TiDB has its own unique both column storage and row-based storage, and our vector search is built on top of our TiFlash technology, which means fundamentally we have the good infrastructure to provide best tier of performance for the long term. So we shared our plan, like how we improve the performance with the customers at this moment, and the customers looks it's quite promising, and the customers quite I think the customers kind of buying our ideas, and they believe like we can have a long-term partnership on that. And regarding the GPT store application, the plugin the customer is building, I think overall they are good with they are super happy with the experience we're providing. And we do have a official sample, like how to leverage the functionalities, in TiDB serverless to build different types of kind of GPT applications. So for that, I think the experience is more like, how we kind of surface this kind of first-party integrations in our management experience. That's definitely part of our public preview experience. We believe, like the value we are providing here, one station for customers to build AI applications. We will provide different types of sample code documentation and scaffolding tools for different types of vertical AI applications. So yeah, still we are still contacting with different types of early participants in the private beta stage, and we would like to learn all types of feedback. Again, the goal here is to really learn from our users and build a product to meet where they are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm particularly interested in, I'm pretty convinced with a lot of people signing up for beta, we'll definitely see some interesting use cases, and it'll be interesting in a few months, like when we sort of look at the catalog of what people are doing. Definitely looking forward to that, and yeah, and in addition to email, I mean, they'll get almost a private email from you, welcoming people as a help with our vector search feature. But I think there'll be like a forums on Discord and other areas where people can provide feedback and facilitate this or start discussions. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a lot of learnings out of that. And I mean, this is why any community is like pretty powerful. Like it's a lot of times, like those of us inside, whether you're engineers or product people, think what you need, what needs to be done in terms of product features, but that's definitely not the case. It's really interesting when you sort of open things up to the community. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Yeah. So I mentioned the Slack post back in late February when we sort of announced it and provided links for people to sign up for the trial. One of the first questions that came up was very predictable, right? It's almost like we staged it. Was when will this be available in open source like at TiDB? And I know you have plans for that, but I'll let you sort of answer that question and tell us what your approach is going to be. So.
Right. Yeah, that's a really great question. So first of all, the conclusion is like we do have plans to open source the vector search capability on our TiDB open source project. Um, so I will provide some of the context, like how we made the decision, like let's enable that on the cloud first, and then later merge it back to the open source project. One of the thing was like in terms of our TiDB serverless offering, it is like the default entry for our TiDB users today, which means we are getting hundreds of users coming to the platform and trying different types of workloads. Thinking about that, like every day we have hundreds of users from different types of from different countries trying different types of things. That gives us the opportunity to really shape the future of the TiDB. We got a different data workload to test the stability, the performance, the whole infrastructure for our TiDB users, not just in TiDB serverless, but also thinking about our entire TiDB offering. We do have some of the features that first fully validated and tested on TiDB serverless and later merged it back. The reason behind that is like by doing this approach, we can provide I would say even higher quality of the features to our open source users. For those open source users, they usually they take our public, I would say, open source base hosted by themselves because they have their own compliance and security, privacy requirements. They want to do TiDB hosted. We just want to ensure they get the best, performance and quality of the product. And we are for the vector search, we are doing the similar thing. The AI industry is evolving so fast, right? If you're thinking about 2 years ago and comparing today, it's quite different world. Doing I would say a serious kind of a feature just in the TiDB open source project, the kind of the life cycle, the logistic, everything, I think that takes months just to release an experimental feature there. And to let people let our users to try to experience to adopt that feature is also quite, I would say, kind of not that convenient because they have to clone the base, they have to using Kubernetes to start the TiDB clusters and later enable the experiment feature. That's somehow against our major personas we are targeting today. So, and also thinking about the infrastructure of the TiDB serverless, we already have the technology for compute storage decoupling, the multi-tenancy behind that, enabling and I just touched a little bit of the TiFlash, the column engine, which is already available on the cloud. Enable the base, the vector search functionality here somehow kind of easy peasy for the engineering team. And we mark it as a private beta because we want to make sure our users have the right expectations so that they can really iterate their applications, grow with us together, and provide feedback together with us. So combining all the reasons behind this, we decide, oh, okay, maybe again, the best approach is to enable that on the cloud. And we work together with our users to make it, really great features for all types of users. And once we feel we are comfortable, our users are comfortable, we will have a public roadmap shared with our all types of TiDB users and merge it back to the open source project. That is the methodology, the philosophy, like how we doing everything today. You can see that on TiDB vector search, and you will see other features in the future following the similar approach. I mean, the reason all behind that is how we, first accelerate our innovation, and again, also making sure we provide the best quality of the product to all types of users. Yeah, so that's how we make the decision. And I think I missed the one thing, the exact date for that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have the date yet. It's
Yeah.
still in private beta stage. So hopefully once we reach to public beta, we have let's say I'm the PM, right? I will define the exit criteria for our features. So once we have those data, once we got enough customer feedback, once we discussed with our kernel PM, we will have a concrete date. As I shared, all the TiDB roadmap are public on our GitHub repository. Once we have a good date, I think everybody can find the date there.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, the good news is that I mean, this is not going to be like a cloud only feature. Our plan is to make this part of, I mean, TiDB core or kernel, however you want to use a term. But ultimately, this will be open source. And even when that Slack question came up, I was pretty confident because I had a number of discussions with you. I said, just stay tuned. Basically hinting that it's going to happen. So. Yeah, definitely very excited about that. And I mean, you talked about a lot of what your plans for vector search while you're having conversations with people who signed up for private beta. Any other plans that you want to share, or anything else that you may have missed?
Right. Yeah. So, doing product planning is all about how to prioritize customer feedback and also kind of balance what we can do, where we can get the best ROI when doing something. Right. So I would say currently, exactly at this moment, the company is doing the fiscal year planning for the entire next 12 months. For me, I'm looking into the customer feedback at this stage. I'm also doing research like what the industry trend we are foreseeing in the next few I would say 6 months or 12 months. So by combining all these things together, I think first of all, there are two themes for the vector search or for AI applications, AI developers. We are thinking, for the next few months. First of all, For the vector search itself, we want to make sure we address customer feedback in terms of usability, the experience, the performance, feedback we gathered so far. So basically, it is an all-in-one database, but we want to make sure, as our TP and the AP workloads, our vector data type will perform at par in the future to be, part of the entire solution. So we have a lot of work to do on that, and we already learned something from our users from their real applications. Secondly, I think the second theme was like how to make the AI, the vector search more accessible to our users. That means a lot of partnership and the ecosystem integrations with the frameworks, with the ecosystem toolings, and some of the most advanced, most emerging, AI partners in this industry. So we already have the integration with LangChain, Llama
Hmm.
Index, Hugging Face,
Right.
and we are still thinking like having partnership with other AI players. So thinking about application developers or AI full stack developers kind of daily workflow, like they search on Google or GitHub, they find amazing developer tools to bootstrap, to scaffolding their projects. I mean, database is just one building blocks there. We want to make sure they can at least discover TiDB as one of the options there, and they can try from there. We build docs, we build tutorials for them, and they can later figure out this could be a perfect database for their AI application at the very beginning, and also for the long-term success. So yeah, that's the two things we've been thinking,
Right.
and again, given this domain is evolving so fast, we will dynamically change our priorities based on the
Hmm.
latest, I would say, um, latest kind of trend of the things we've been observing. So another thing I forgot to mention, like internally at PingCAP, we have a lot of AI innovations.
Hmm.
I think last year we are the number one. We are the first one of the database vendor who introduced chat to query, which is
Right.
the text to SQL capabilities
Hmm.
to our cloud offering. And we also participate in the benchmark, and we ranked number 4 last month, which means the companies are investing a lot in AI, and we made some great progress. And also, we have the TiDB bot, which is our chatbot kind of
Hmm.
experience for not just for external users ask questions how to leverage TiDB, use TiDB for their day-to-day work, but also a system for our internal folks to
Hmm.
to solve support tickets and to accelerate
Cool.
our operational internal operational efficiency. So all these features, are moving to our vector search, our own vector
Cool.
search. The philosophy behind that is like, to build a great product, we have to be the users for our
Right.
own thing, right? We have to do the dog fooding. And
Right.
besides the feedback we're collecting from external folks, the industry trends we are observing, I think we are also learning a lot by migrating these amazing things back to our vector search. So
Cool.
comparing all these things together, I think we will dynamically thinking how to prioritize, and we hope again to provide the best first-class experience for our developers who like to build AI applications.
Cool. So yeah, I think for people that have been on our Slack channel, and then you can actually use a Thai bot to ask questions, and we actually even have our employees like doing that, like quick like support questions, and uh, maybe people will notice a difference once that leverages the vector search capabilities. So yeah, and then I mean, as a community manager, I'll be remiss if I don't mention like I'm sure we'll have more events, more tutorial type of videos coming up related to vector search. So stay tuned. We'll have more announcements coming up, whether in Discord or Slack. So we'll have those as well. Yeah, it's very exciting. I think internally we started discussing. I mean, I started hearing about this at the end of the year, and then we moved like relatively quick. Like in a few months, we made announcements about the private beta, and then we have a lot of people already signed up. So, yeah, if you're interested, I mean, look for that link to the private beta sign up. We're still happy to accommodate more people and welcome more people in the journey. So. Cool. And thanks again for your time, Shin. As our tradition, like we have a closing trivia for all of our guests. I mean, you're in China this week, traveling, but you call Seattle area your home. That's actually, where I went to college. So it's a city that's a town that's near and dear to my heart. Like, it's a very popular city, especially in the tech scene. A lot of people have probably gone through Seattle, and it's a pretty. I mean, even if you're not traveling there for work, I recommend people going to Seattle area, especially in the summer, because there's no place like it. So, Shin, tell us something about Seattle that a lot of people, a lot of visitors may not know about. So, yeah,
Right, yeah.
yeah,
I personally love Seattle a lot. Seattle is
yeah,
a great city.
yeah.
So I guess I think people working in tech industry, they heard a lot of things. They've been traveling to Seattle
Mm,
many times. So instead of sharing some of the facts about the city, I like to more like sharing the facts about the company, PingCAP.
mm,
Seattle is actually the second largest base of employees here at PingCAP. We have more than 10 people here already in
mm.
Seattle. People
Wow.
are all working from home at
Mm.
Seattle. And we are still hiring here. So that's more like an advertisement for our openings on the system.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we are thinking to expanding our team and here in Seattle. So that's I hope that's a fun fact. But
yeah,
if you happen to listening to the podcast and looking for new opportunities, be part of the journey together with us, I think definitely check our website. We do have
yeah.
a different openings for different types of job position in the positions there.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, it's been a little over a year. I mean, it's like early April right now. I joined PingCAP a little over a year ago. I was surprised that second largest base was actually Seattle because I don't think I've ever experienced that. Like even at remote companies, I mean, Seattle is usually one of the largest ones, but being like a second by a long shot in the US was quite surprising. The top two or three are usually like, New York, like Bay Area, of course, in the tech scene and maybe somewhere in Texas. But Seattle was quite surprising. And yeah, I guess a few weeks ago when we're celebrating like a Chinese New Year, it's like we were having different gatherings, and we had a gathering at a Chinese restaurant here in the Silicon Valley, and then I think people were zooming in. I mean, not Zoom, but I think FaceTiming. Like you folks in Seattle were having lunch too, so and a
Yeah.
group of people up there as well. So yeah, and yeah, I think it's a reflection of a huge presence, like as a tech scene in the US. So I mean, it's a long time ago when I went to school in Seattle. I don't think I would have imagined that happening ever. So cool. Well, thanks very much, Shin, and I'm sure I definitely like to have you back as we get more feedback and as we have more use cases sort of tried out on vector search. And like you said, the AI landscape is changing quickly, so probably in 6 months we might be having a very interesting discussion that we haven't even thought about. So cool.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
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 Thanks
Thank you.
again. Well, yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And
Yeah.
I guess, like you said, we will see how the
Yeah.
domain, how the landscape changes. And
All right.
I believe we will talk to our audience soon about our latest findings and insights by thinking from the database perspective.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, safe travels, and I'll see you again once you return to the US. So have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah.